Meeting for the Lawrence City Council. Today is Tuesday, April 15, 2025. Pursuant to Chapter 20 of the Act of 2022, this meeting will be hybrid, allowing participation both in person at the City Council chambers and remotely. If anybody requests this link for the Zoom meeting, this was provided through the City Clerk's office. This meeting will be live through the Lawrence City Council Facebook page, as well as the Lawrence City Council YouTube page. Councilors and members of the public, we would like to thank Congresswoman Lori Trahan for helping us to recoup and work with Facebook to be able to get our Facebook page back in order. For the last year or so, it wasn't working properly. So thank you, Representative Trahan. Madam Clerk, roll call, please.
Councilor Levy.
Present.
Councilor LaPlante.
Present.
Councilor Luzon is noted as absent.
No, present.
Yeah, she's here. She's
I'm sorry. Thank you, Councilor. I apologize.
Thank you, Madam Clerk.
Councilor Del Rosario.
Present.
Councilor Santiago.
Present.
Councilor Marmol.
Present.
Councilor Reyes.
Present.
Council Vice President Infante.
Present.
Council President Rodriguez.
present. Last week, on April 8th, 2025, a tragedy in the Dominican Republic happened at the club, at the Jet Set Clubs in Santo Domingo. The roof collapsed. 3 people from the area, from Lawrence, in the area from here, have passed. For that reason, I would like to call for a moment of silence. Please join me in a moment of silence. Please join me for the Pledge of Allegiance. Councilors, we have 3 minutes to approve today. Those minutes are from May 21st, 2024, June 4th, 2024, and June 18, 2024. Can I get a motion to approve
Motion
those
to
minutes?
approve.
There is a motion to approve, properly second discussion. I hear none. All those in favor, please say aye. Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Aye.
Councilor Reyes.
Yes.
Councilor Marmol.
Yes.
Councilor Santiago.
Yes.
Councilor Del Rosario.
Yes.
Councilor Luzon.
Yes.
Councilor LaPlante.
Yes.
Councilor Levy.
Yes.
Council Vice President Infante.
Yes.
Council President Rodriguez.
I vote yes. Now we are going to proceed with public participation. The rules for public participation are as follows. You're going to have 2.5 minutes to speak about any topic in Lawrence or any topic that you desire. At the 2-minute mark, you're going to hear a beep or sound or some type of signals that indicate that you still have 30 seconds to go. At the 2.5 minutes, your time is going to be up. We have 2 names today that would like to speak on public participation. The first one is H. Mali. Name and address for the record, please.
Humayun Mali, 53 Chester Street. Good evening, honorable members. We, the citizens, are proud to support Lawrence Police Union. Lawrence Police Office with the impeccable leadership by Honorable Chief Bonilla doing excellent job to protect our citizens. Lawrence Police, one of the best police departments in this nation, the Union of Pride and Honor. Thank you for excellent job. Million thanks to our DPW leadership and employees for making Lawrence a beautiful city. Thank you for your hard work. Lawrence Inspection Department, thank you for excellent job. We support our Inspection Department union. Lawrence Public School, with the impeccable leadership by Honorable Superintendent Ralph Guerrero, on the road to become the best public school in the nation. Lawrence teachers, thank you for excellent job in this important year of the contract negotiation. Please know that we are united to support your union. Lawrence One City under God, we support our brave veterans. Thank you for your service. Thank you for your bravery and sacrifices. Thank you for standing for freedom. Please fulfill two positions empty in a veteran administration. This city needs a commission on elders right away. Lawrence always is strong. Lawrence always unite. We the Laurentian, the champion support of the union right from our brave firefighters, police officers, DPW, Lawrence Police, this Blue Life, this Union of Pride and Honor. We pray for the safety of all Lawrence police officers. We are proud to support Lawrence police officers. Thank you.
Thank you. We will hold that for the end. The next person that we have is Rich Russell, Councilor Russell. Name and address for the record, please.
Good evening, councilors. Rich Russell, 34 Cross Street. I had an enjoyable time at the Fire Chief Moriarty's retirement barbecue at the Central Station at noontime. A quick thought off the top of my head. It's a shame that the two chiefs' jobs got pulled out of civil service several years ago. When politics enters the hiring process where professionalism really counts, nobody knows what the end result will be. The city lucked out with the now retiring Chief Moriarty was selected. Next, who or what was the blame for the horror show involving the two committee meetings, Personnel and Budget and Finance, last night? Personnel was canceled for what should have been a rubber stamp process like it has been with other temporary department heads. In my humble opinion, it was a slap in the face to all the councilors to have the LRA basically say, we can't be bothered tonight. The council asked nicely, use an accepted manner, etc., only to have the schedule blown off by the LRA. Why? Are they trying to cook the books to make everything look good? Just a thought. But can the city council subpoena the LRA to appear? The other issue with the Budget and Finance Committee was the fact there was only one councilor present in chambers, with two appearing hybrid. Thank you, Governor Ada Healy. And one councilor AWOL. And people wonder why I'm dead set against the continuation of the hybrid style of meetings. This may upset some, but so be it. What's the difference between recognition by a council and a resolution by a council? Why does recognition, agenda items 139 and 149, 139 and 140, 25 by the council require attendance by a recognized person, while a person getting a resolution, agenda items 125 and 126, 25 totally get blown off? Last, what's the status of the plaque replacement on the three monuments? Money was supposed to be taken out of the FY25 budget, and now we have a spending freeze in place. CAFO retires, and in less than 2 months, the city apparently runs out of money to spend in their budget. Thank you, as always, for time to express my concerns.
Right. The next person, all these names are going to be submitted for the record. So, councilors, invoking the recently revised Rule 4, I would like to call to the podium our Chief of Fire. Today is going to be his last day, and I would like to express some gratitude for his leadership in the city of Lawrence. Councilors, members of the public, members of the City of Lawrence, I would like to recognize and present this special recognition to our Chief of the Fire, Brian Mariotti, for your years of service as a fire chief in the City of Lawrence, with our sincerest gratitude for your leadership during the Columbia gas crisis in 2018, and your commitment and continuous improvement of the fire station, the department equipments, and the overall public safety of the city. We would like to recognize today our Chief of Fire. Thank you, Chief. Thank you for everything you have done.
Thank you all. Thank you. It's been my proud privilege and pleasure and honor to have served the city. We've done a lot of great things together. We've, as the council president had mentioned, we got through some crazy disasters. We bought some trucks. We fixed some stations. We kept the guys safe. We got them good equipment. And I didn't do that alone. I did it with them, and I did it with all of you and those before you. And I'm hoping that you'll all continue to do that after I'm gone with the next guy, because the fire department always needs something, unfortunately. We always need something. Thank you. I'm honored. I'm looking forward to the next chapter of my life. And I guess that's all I can say is thank you so much.
Councilors, now we have a few things on the agenda, and out of the ordinance committee, we have a resolution to be presented recognizing the Lawrence High School theater program, as well as a resolution recognizing the Lawrence High School varsity wrestler, Hillary McDonald. Those two, we would like to present those. So, Madam, Mr. Chair, from the ordinance committee, do you mind presenting those reports to us?
So I think we're looking at, the first one would be document 13925. This is a resolution recognizing Lawrence High School's theater program. This was sent up to the full council with a favorable recommendation, and I make that in the form of a motion.
Second.
There is a motion on the table, properly second. Any discussion? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Councilor Levy?
Present. Yes.
Yes. Councilor LaPlante?
I'm present and voting yes.
Councilor Luzon?
Yes.
Councilor Del Rosario?
Yes.
Councilor Santiago?
Yes.
Councilor Marmal?
Yes.
Councilor Reyes?
Yes.
Council Vice President Infante?
Yes.
Council President Rodriguez?
I vote yes.
Unanimous. That resolution is adopted.
Now, the resolution has been adopted. The difference between a resolution and recognition, as it was raised before, a resolution is an official opinion of the City of Lawrence. So today, we are recognizing the students of the theater program as an official opinion of the City of Lawrence with this recognition. With that said, I'm going to pass over the gavel to the Vice Chair, and I'm going to present the following recognitions. Well, councilors, we have a certificate of recognition or a resolution that it was introduced and presented to through the ordinance committee as well as the full council. And today we're recognizing the Lawrence High School Theater cast and teachers. The City of Lawrence recognized for the outstanding achievement on the following Lawrence High School students for participating in a sessional performance at the National Performing Arts Festival at the Universal Studios over there in during the February vacation. For the performance and On the Heights, the Lancers cast was awarded with the Assembly of Excellence in Choreography, the George Trophy for the highest achievement, and the Showcase Trophy for the Festival High Scores. With that said, councilors, I would like to read one of the resolutions and the names for everybody that is here, as well as the teacher. We also have a recognition for the program itself. For their performance on the heights of the National Performing Arts Festival at the Universal Studios in Orlando, Florida, where the Lancers Theater cast the award Assembly of Excellence and Choreography, the George Trophy for the High Achievement, and the Showcase Trophy for the Festival High Scores. Now therefore, on the 15th of April of the year 2025, the Lawrence City Council recognize and congratulate the members of the Lawrence High School Theater Program and extend the members of every good wish and their share to the dedication and talents for the City of Lawrence. Respectfully submitted and signed by every city councilor, this resolution has been presented to the following students: Kevin Reyes,
Can we hold all applauses until after we're done naming all the students, please, and thank you.
thank you. Kiara Felix, Carolina Sanchez, Amos Bashir, Jimmy Alvarez, Amaya María, Melillat Moen, Emmanuel Flores de la Cruz, Alexander Notareno, Leslie Hernández, Yanisa Rosario, Henry Matapier, Warren Acosta, Ángel Almonte, Carla Almonte, Kelly Castillo, Margory Collado, Giuliani Familia, Yasmín Fernández, Eliana Florimón, Emily Founders, Chastity Florishon, Adrián Fricas, Desiree González, Brenda Javier, Kaylin Javier, Christopher Herrera, Yalixa Lajara, Johnson López, Jairis Martínez, Omar Castillo, Devin Pichnon, Brianna Toribio, Yesenia Torres, Edison Castillo Contreras, and also we would like to recognize the teacher for the theater program, Laureen Nolan. So, Christopher Herrera? Chris. Thank you. Kaylin Javier? Thank you. The teacher? Laureen? Thank you. Carla Almontes? Thank you. Ángel Almontes? Warren Acosta? Edison Castillo? Thank you. Yesenia Torres? Brianna Toribio? Devin? Omar Morillo? Jairis Martínez? Johnson López? Yalixa Lajara? Henry? Metivier? Yanisa Rosario? Leslie Hernández? Alexander? Alex. Emmanuel Flores? Malilla? Thank you. Jimmy Álvarez? Amos? Bachir? Kiara Felix. Thank you. Carolina Sánchez. Brenda Javier. Desiree González. Amaya María. Adriel Fricas. Chastity. Emily. Alina Frolemón. Yaslin Fernández. Juliani familia. Magori Collado. Y Kylie Castillo. Does everybody have theirs? All right. We would like to extend an opportunity for 1, 2 member and the teacher to come in front of the mic and express a few words to the city if you guys decide. Who were the singers?
I think Alex could do it.
Alex, come on.
I think perhaps, Council President, let's
Yes.
start with the teacher of the program
Teacher?
while the kids figure out, the students figure out who's going to speak.
If you want to say a few words.
Hello. Hi, I'm Laurie Donlin. I'm the proud director of the Lawrence High School Theater Program. They had a phenomenal week down in Florida in February. I'm like, when was it? You have to forgive us. We just closed our show last weekend, so we're a little sick and very tired, so we're a little delayed right now. But they represented Lawrence with pride. We are grateful for our city and for our superintendent who supported them and financed the trip for the kids. They represented the city with pride. They performed in the Heights, which was very dear to their hearts, and represented Lawrence really well. And they were the highest score of the festival, so on award ceremony night, they got awarded several things. The first is excellence in choreography, and I actually want to, Jazz, come here. And Chastity is our student choreographer and choreographed all of that herself. So they were really stunned when they found out that a student choreographed all of that. And hopefully she'll keep getting credit for that because we're in several state competitions with it also. And then they awarded them a superior rating, which is the highest rating. So we got a trophy for that. And then they gave us another trophy, which was just for a high score and for excellence. So then we were confused and thought we didn't win because now we got a middle trophy and there was still a bigger trophy on stage. And then they announced us as the winner. So then we went up and got another trophy. So we came home with a plaque and 3 trophies. And the other schools might have been a little bitter about that and programs because they gave us so many awards. But they got to then, having that highest honor, they got to perform for the public on our last day there at Universal Studios. So that was, if you get the highest showcase award, you get to perform your whole program for the public. So they got that honor. And then a few of them also got medals for their solo competition. So if you got a medal for your solo competition, I don't want to forget anyone. So I know Carolina did, and Kevin got one for his performance. Raise your hand, guys. And then Kiara. So they also got medals for their solo performances. So they made Lawrence proud.
Thank you.
As students, we would like to thank you for recognizing our hard work. It takes a lot to get up on stage, and we just appreciate that you guys are able to recognize us. So we thank you as students.
I have to say, Alex, I have to say, I enjoyed looking at your mother's photos from this past weekend that she posted on social media. So congratulations to you and to all the students in the theater program. You guys did, from what I saw on social media, you guys did awesome.
Any other students? Any other student that would like to say a few words? Are you sure? All right. Well, counselors, now we have a special recognition to the actual program itself for the highest honor at the 2025 National Performance Arts Festival at the Universal Studio in Orlando, Florida, receiving the first place for their performance on the Heights. With that said, counselors, I would like to present this recognition, this plaque, to the teacher and to the member of the program.
That's beautiful. Thank you so much. This was beautiful. The school system also gave them a beautiful plaque. So we will find places of honor to put all of these lovely things and to cherish them because hopefully we'll get more and more in the future, but you never know. So thank you so much.
Thank you.
To all of the students, the counselor would like to be honored with you, saying hi to you and shake your hands. So please come over. Hey, guys. We're going to take a picture outside.
We're going to continue with the next resolution coming out of the Ordinance Committee. The Chair of the Committee, you have the floor.
Thank you, Madam Chair. The document 14025 is a resolution recognizing Lawrence's High School varsity wrestler Hillary McDonald. This was sent up to the full council with a favorable recommendation, and to make that in the form of a motion.
Motion has been made by Councilor LaPlante, seconded by Councilor Levy. Discussion? Seeing none, Madam Clerk, could you please call the roll?
Counselor Reyes, please?
Yes.
Counselor Marmal?
Yes.
Counselor Santiago?
Yes.
Counselor Del Rosario?
Yes.
Counselor Luzon?
Yes.
Counselor LaPlante?
Yes.
Counselor Levy?
Yes.
Council Vice President Infante? Yes. Sorry, I did it backwards. Council President,
Vote yes.
thank you.
And the motion passes. Council President?
Yes, thank you, Madam Vice President Infante and members of the City Council for voting on this resolution. I would like to present this resolution to Hillary McDonald. Hillary McDonald has been a member of the Lawrence High School Class 2026 and have developed into a great member of the Lawrence High School girl wrestling team, where her hard work and determination have set her apart, both athlete and the leader of the teams. Hillary have been given an excellent performance in the 2025 Girls All-Star Tournament. She has already be the first high school girl wrestling and school history to win All-Star title in 2024, and her 2025 championship have repeat and accomplished those and have increased their accomplishment as two-time winner of All-Star title as a girl wrestling program. Therefore, the members of the Lawrence City Council applaud her accomplishment, and for that, we are recognizing her through a resolution today. So, if you want to say a few words.
I would like to thank my coaches and my parents and also my teammates. I didn't get here alone. There's been many days where I didn't want to go to practice, or I said I was too hurt, and my coach Guzman would always be like, get up, you have to win your title again, and he would push me, and my parents at home would push me too, and my teammates, when they would see me slack off, they would also push me. I would like to say I'm not the only athlete that has got so far. There has many other girls that have gotten very far, and I hope I'm not the last nor the first. So I appreciate everything and everyone. Thank you.
So, she's looking for support for her parents and their coaches. Thank you, everybody that support the program. Hillary has been a great advocate for the program, and have everybody behind the program now. So thank you so much for everything you have done, and the coaches as well. Sí, afuera. Ojo, para ver si. Afuera lo hacemos. Vamos a coger un receso. So, Madam Vice President Infante, I would like to ask if the council will entertain a motion to recess for a second.
Can I get a motion to recess for 5 minutes?
Motion to recess?
Motion has been made by Councilor Reyes, seconded by Councilor Marmol. Discussions? Seeing none, Madam Clerk, can you please call the roll?
Counselor Levy?
Yes.
Counselor LaPlante?
Yes.
Counselor Luzon?
Yes.
Counselor Del Rosario?
Yes.
Counselor Santiago?
Yes.
Counselor Marmol?
Yes.
Counselor Reyes?
Yes.
Council President?
Vote yes.
Council Vice President?
Yes.
Perfect, thank you.
Motion carries. 5-minute recess.
Yes. personnel. Steph.
Like, I don't want to give you that back.
Councilors, get a motion to get out of recess.
So moved.
Second.
There's a motion on the table, properly second. Roll call, please.
Counselor Reyes?
No, it is. Yes. Yes, good girl, all right. Counselor Marmal?
Yes.
Counselor Santiago?
Yes.
Counselor Del Rosario?
Yes.
Counselor Luzon?
Yes.
Counselor LaPlante?
Yes.
Counselor Levy?
Yes.
Council Vice President?
Yes.
Council President?
Well, yes. So let's go on top of the agenda. Oh, well, let's go back to the committee report, personnel committees. We have two items that are tabled from personnel committee, and I would like to get those on table. Madam Vice Chair, Madam Vice President Infante, those items that you're referring to.
I would like to make a motion to untable item 97-25, the confirmation to appoint Xavier Ortiz to the Municipal Airport Commission with the term ending July 15th of 2027, and I make a motion.
There's a motion on the table, properly second. Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Counselor Levy?
Yes.
Counselor LaPlante?
Yes, yes.
Counselor Luzon?
Yes.
Counsel Del Rosario?
Yes.
Counselor Santiago?
Yes.
Counselor Marmal?
Yes.
Counselor Reyes? Yes. Council Vice President?
Yes.
Council President?
I vote yes. Madam Vice President
I would like to
Infante.
make a motion to approve item 97-25.
There's a motion on the table, properly second.
Discussion.
Madam Vice President Infante.
Thank you. Through you, Council President. Last full council meeting, we did have Mr. Ortiz here in front of us, and we all had the opportunity to have a conversation with him and to ask him questions. The only thing that was missing from the file was his resume, which now we all have in front of us. I hope that each counselor had the opportunity to take a look at it. Mr. Ortiz is on Zoom. Council President did confirm. So
That's correct.
if there are any other questions pertaining to the resume, we do have the opportunity to ask that as well.
Councilors, any questions for the candidates? The resume has been submitted for the record.
It's on top of the table.
Looks like this.
All right, if there is no questions, I'm gonna call the motion. Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Counselor Levy?
Yes.
Counselor LaPlante?
Yes.
Counselor Luzon?
Yes.
Counselor Del Rosario?
Yes.
Counselor Santiago?
Yes.
Counselor Marmal?
Yes.
Counselor Reyes?
Yes.
Council Vice President?
Yes.
Council President?
Vote yes. Madam Vice President, you're gonna entertain a motion to untable item 9825.
So motion carries? We're good with that? Okay.
Motion carries, yes.
I make a-
Item 9825.
I make a motion to untable item 98-25, to confirm the appointment of Dio Cruz to the Municipal Airport Commission with the term expiring July 15 of 2026.
So moved.
There is a motion on the table, properly second, discussion. No discussion on the table matters. All those in favor, Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Counselor Reyes? Yes. Counselor Marmal?
Yes.
Counselor Santiago?
Yes.
Counselor Del Rosario?
Yes.
Counselor Luzon?
Yes.
Counselor LaPlante?
Yes.
Counselor Levy? Yes. Council Vice President Infante?
Yes.
Council President Rodriguez?
I vote yes. Now, resume has been submitted for the record.
Council President, I make a
and we're gonna
motion
entertain a motion.
to approve item 98-25, the confirmation of Dio Cruz. To
There is a motion on the table to approve, properly second, discussion.
discussion.
Madam Vice President Infante.
Thank you. Through you, Council President. Councilors, again, similar to the previous item, we had Mr. Cruz in front of us at the last full council meeting. We had the opportunity to ask him questions, to learn more about his background, and again, he also was missing the resume within our packets. Now we have it, but he's also on Zoom in case there are any additional questions or comments for him.
Is any questions, councilors? I hear none, I'll call the question. Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Counselor Levy.
Yes.
Counselor LaPlante.
Yes.
Counselor Luzon.
Yes.
Counselor Del Rosario.
Yes.
Counselor Santiago.
Yes.
Counselor Marmal.
Yes.
Counselor Reyes.
Yes.
Council Vice President Infante.
Yes.
Council President Rodriguez.
I vote yes. Congratulations to both. Thank you, Dion and Mr. Ortiz, Mr. Cruz and Mr. Ortiz. Thank you for your willingness to participate and get involved. You have been approved. All right, we are going to committee reports. Before we get to that point, I would like to public hearing. So, we're going to entertain the motion? Committee reports. All right, we're going on top of the agenda. We're going to entertain the committee reports at this moment. The public hearings. And we have item 11625, which is the approval alteration of on-street parking plans and around the Henry Oliver schools. Madam Claire, please read that the public hearing.
Notice is hereby given that the Lawrence City Council will hold a public hearing on Tuesday, April 15th at 7 p.m. in the council chambers, 200 Common Street, Lawrence, Mass, pursuant to Chapter 2 of the Acts of 2023 as further extended, and in accordance with recently revised City Council Rule 2. This meeting will be hybrid, allowing participation both in person and remotely to accommodate any participant with health considerations that prevent in-person participation. The meeting may be viewed on Facebook and YouTube. To receive access codes, please contact the city clerk at eileen.bernal@cityoflawrence.com or 978-620-3230. The purpose of this hearing is to gather testimony, information, and public input concerning the proposed amendments and alterations of the on-site parking plan at the Haverhill Street and Oak Street at and around the Henry K. Oliver School. This plan shall include, but not be limited to, the alteration and enhancement of crosswalks on Haverhill Street between the school and the Campagnon Common, the creation of one accessible parking space on Haverhill Street, the revision of some parking on Oak Street, and the creation of a dedicated student drop-off lane, and improved street markings and signage. The proposed changes in their entirety can be viewed on the City of Lawrence's website at www.citylawrence.com, document center /view/50/164 116-25-Oliver-School-on-Haverhill-and-Oak-Street, or can be obtained at the office of the Lawrence City Clerk during normal City Hall business hours. Persons wishing to be heard shall be afforded the opportunity.
Public hearing is now open. Anybody from the public that wishes to speak? Public hearing is now closed. I'll entertain a motion.
Council President,
Councilor LaPlante.
I'd like to make a motion that we adopt this matter and with the language that was provided to us and the resolution at our desk, and I will ask the clerk if she would be so kind as to read that in its entirety, because this is fresh information.
Yeah, Madam Clerk, do you mind reading those?
I do not mind. It's a resolution in favor of amending and altering the public way plan for the new Henry K. Oliver School. Whereas the City of Lawrence and the Lawrence School Department have engaged the
Madam
task.
Clerk, if you could just go for the here, therefore be resolved, that actually says exactly what the streets are.
I like it. Therefore be it resolved, a handicap parking area shall be established in front of the Henry K. Oliver School. The sign is to be placed in the northeast corner of Haverhill Street and Lawrence Street, Mass Highway Street boundary marker on sidewalk to a point 430 feet on Haverhill Street, and from northeast corner of Haverhill Street and Lawrence Street to a point 550 feet on Haverhill Street. A no parking zone should be established with a no parking signage and pavement curbing markings on the north side of the street of Oak Street, from the northeast corner of Oak Street and Lawrence Street to a point 51 feet on Oak Street. A no parking zone to be established with no parking signage and pavement curbing markings on the north side of the street sidewalk of Oak Street, from the northeast corner of Oak Street and Lawrence Street to a point 205 feet on Oak Street, and from a northeast corner of Oak Street and Lawrence Street to a point 586 feet on Oak Street. A no parking zone to be established with no parking signage and pavement curbing markings on the south side of Oak Street School entrance from the southeast corner of Cardillo Way and Oak Street School entrance to a point 78 feet on Oak Street. Now therefore may this be so ordered.
That's my motion.
All right, there is a motion on the table. I can hear a second. Properly second discussion.
Discussion.
Councilor Plant.
We had a lengthy conversation about this in the ordinance committee, and I think that the committee, I can't speak for the committee members, but it sensed from that discussion that we had is that there is going to be traffic issues. There's no way around it. We're not going to avoid it. There's going to be some significant traffic issues, but out of all the bad options, this is probably the best out of the bad options that are there. So sometimes growth has some pain. This is growth with some pain, and the pain that you're going to feel is further congestion and parking issues in that area. So I just think it's important that we all vote on this with our eyes wide open, understanding exactly what we're voting on. We voted for a school, and with the school comes other kinds of ancillary issues. This is some of the big ones. Thank you, Council President.
Council President?
Councilor Vice President Infante.
Thank you. Through you, may I ask the Chair of the Ordinance Committee a question?
Sure.
Councilor LaPlante, can you remind me the length of this, how long we're going to have this in active for?
You're in fantastic luck, Vice President, because we have experts here that can go into all the detail with that.
So let's expand this opportunity for the expert to.
Maybe I
discuss.
should preface the answer to that question by introducing my team, and we can determine who is might be the best person to answer that question. I, of course, am Daniel McCarthy. I'm the planning director for the city of Lawrence. I have joining me from the Lawrence Public Schools is Odanis Hernandez, who's the chief operating officer for that. We have our design team from SMMA, John Hart and Helen Fantini, who are the civil engineer and project manager. We have a traffic engineer here, Mr. Wayne Kiefner, from Brennan Consulting. We also have from the Mass DOT program, Safe Routes to School, Judy Crocker, who's a statewide coordinator on safe streets and the outreach supervisor. And then there's a project manager for Answer Advisory, who's overseeing this project, Mr. Christian Cuervo, who's here as well. So who would be the best person to answer the question? Could you repeat the question?
Council Vice President, the question is how long can we anticipate these changes to be in effect?
Forever?
I think the answer, these are permanent things, but there may be a follow-up. So Council Vice President, you can ask whatever questions you'd like.
So let's hear from the team, the traffic engineer. That's something that we have never have. So so let's hear from him first.
Good
So
evening.
welcome, thank you.
Sure. My name is Wayne Kiefner. I work for Brennan Consulting at 24 May Street in Burlington. As part of the traffic report, we did a crash analysis, and there were, of all the intersections that we studied in front of the school, there was a higher than average crash rate. So we normally compare crash rates to both Mass DOT specific district and statewide. And in front of the school, there was a higher than average crash rate, both district-wide and statewide. So that's why we recommended that a parent-only drop-off be established. Because Oak Street in this location is one way and only 2 lanes wide, that parking lane would take one of the through lanes with parking on the left-hand side. So that's why the parking on the left-hand side needs to be removed to allow cars to go around the parked cars that are dropping off.
Can you repeat who you work for?
Sure. Brennan Consulting, we're traffic consultants for SMMA.
And that's out of where?
In Burlington, Mass.
Burlington, Mass. Okay, thank you. Councilor Vice President Infante? Councilor Vice President Infante is going to recuse herself due to a potential conflict of interest. So keep on telling us more, a little more, yes, just to get you.
Sure. I'm not sure how much background you'd like. Helen certainly has more
Just
background.
in
than
general, I
do.
mean, you say that you generate a crash analysis in the front, and you compare to the District 4, and then compare to the national, I mean, to the
Yeah.
statewide.
District and statewide.
District and statewide, and
Yeah.
then they're gonna get you to determine that the drop-off
Sure.
pickup area are gonna be in the back
Yeah,
of the
sure.
of the
So
school.
when we do crash rate analysis, we do calculations, and the final number that comes out is the unit of it is crashes per million entering vehicles, right? And so we know there's not a million vehicles entering, but we can extrapolate it out. And normally the district-wide crash rates and the state crash rates might be around like 0.5, 0.6, something like that, per million entering vehicles. I want to say the crash rate at the drop-off area was like 1.25, something like that. It was way higher. It wasn't just a little higher, it was way higher. So I think part of our recommendation was the drop-off area as well as the raised crosswalks. Those are safety. They slow cars down and things like that. So the combination of the two is what our recommendation was to provide a safer drop-off for kids walking and being dropped off.
So essentially, counselors, we have a drop-off pickup area in the back of the school with a total 23 spots that are going to be removed. And then we have a parking spot reserved, which is going to be a total of 7. Is that correct?
So I think there's probably 3 separate areas along Oak Street where parking is removed. I want to say one of them is for fire access from, is it-
Name and address for the
Sure.
record.
My name's John Hart. I'm with SMMA from Cambridge, Massachusetts, and I'm a civil engineer. So there's three different spots along Oak Street where parking is being removed. On the corner with Lawrence Street, there's 2 spots removed on the north side of Oak Street, and that's for truck access, in particular fire trucks turning from Lawrence Street onto Oak Street, so they can make that turn. And then there are 17 spaces which are primarily in the rear of the school building and extended a little bit to the west to allow for, as Wayne was saying, that the shift in the lane to provide a drop-off lane on the south side, the school side, and then have cars pass on the north side. Currently, is parking along the north side and the travels on the south side. And then there are 4 additional spots. As the school design, there's a wing that goes to the east along Oak Street, and that is where the loading is for the school. And so there's 4 more spaces removed in that location. And then there's the 1 accessible space that's at the front of the school on Haverhill Street. So there's a total of 23 removed on Oak, and then the 1 designated on Haverhill Street. There was existing 3 crosswalks designated in Haverhill Street, and now there's the 1 wider designated crosswalk with the raised crosswalk with the flashing beacons, and the school zone is also marked along Haverhill Street, and there's additional signage. So the goal of the design was to make a safer environment on both streets for drop-off and for the students, as well as being somewhat efficient. We need to use both streets for drop-off.
So you're going to have an speed humps in the front of the school?
So there is a raised crosswalk proposed.
Same thing. It's kind of the same thing. Speed humps and raised crosswalks.
So it's a raised crosswalk, 1 raised crosswalk on Haverhill Street.
So how that's going to reduce the speed around the area as well. So do you guys put any numbers together as of how much that's going to reduce the speed around?
Well, Wayne can maybe speak about the speed of the cars, but right now there is no school zone signage up there. There wasn't when the school was in operation. So now there's a school zone signage both on and markings on the road, and and there's an approach, reduced speed limit coming up to that, and
20
then the
miles an
raised
hour.
crosswalk. If somebody's crossing the street there, they'll push a button, and the flashers will go on both sides, both directions. So there's warning for that, and I believe it's right down to 20, the speed limit is 20 miles an hour.
Yeah. Councilors, any questions in regard to this specific item?
Council President, if I may,
Yeah, Councilor Rosario. Councilor Song, you go next.
Thank you, through you.
thank you.
Thank you, through you.
I'm sorry.
Through you, Council President. Just two comments. I'm glad that the taxi companies are here. Speed changes are coming, 20 miles per hour in the school zone. So you guys got to be careful, right on Oak Street, Jackson Street, Havel Street. So I'm glad the taxi companies are here. Because this is the Oliver School coming in, and they're going to implement great changes, big changes. So we had that conversation last week, so I'm glad you guys are here. Because there were school buses going to be there, kids are going to be crossing around, and it's going to be 20 lights are flashing. We expect everybody to stop. So I'm glad the taxi drivers are here. And another thing is that this is a public hearing, and I know my colleague is going to speak after us, and it's a shame that the public is not here. Those people are going to be impacted on Oak Street. They have no voice here. They're not implemented. They're not saying how impacted they're going to be. They did a traffic study, but they did not knock on doors to find out how that would impact that neighborhood. And it's, Council President, it's a shame that the community in that area is not here to speak of how that will impact them when it comes to parking and also traffic in that area. That's my two comments. Thank you.
Councilor Luzon.
Thank you, Council President. I have a question, and thank you, Councilor Rosario, for mentioning that. So we already have a problem with parking in every sector of the city. They took that in consideration when they did the study, and I don't know who can answer this question from the team that is working in this project, but it looks like they didn't. It looks like that was not they did not take that in consideration. But also, where are the new teachers are going to park? They haven't mentioned that. So I would like to hear from them what are they proposing.
Sure.
Good evening, Councilors.
And I'm sorry, Council President. And how many teachers? Because this is going to be a brand new school. How many teachers are we expecting?
All right. So we have a school capacity is going to be 1,000 students.
Mm-hmm.
So how many teachers we expecting? Where they're going to park? And also, if you took into consideration the parking spaces issues throughout that area.
Sure. Good evening, Councilor. Sodanis Hernandez, Chief Operating Officer for Lawrence Public Schools. So just a quick background. This project goes back to 2021 when we first were presenting the project. We met with city officials, we've met with city councilors at the time, and based on the feedback that we heard regarding the safety of our students crossing both on Haverhill Street and also on Oak, is why the project team is proposing or started working on proposing this design and this recommendation. We did, I should note that the traffic study that we are referencing, this project, let me go back. The project also started to develop during the pandemic COVID. So the traffic study that was conducted was during that time. So unfortunately, we could not go out and knock on doors. The team could not go out and knock on doors due to the pandemic restrictions that were in the city at the time. The commitment that we have made is that we would like the opportunity to wait for the school to open, both the Oliver and the Leahy, and also wait for the traffic patterns that are scheduled to change around Amesbury and Lawrence Street, and then we're gonna rehire or hire a traffic engineer to come back and then do a true assessment of the traffic patterns with school in session. To do something now, it's not gonna provide any data to present to you in terms of any traffic patterns because we don't have school in session in that area yet. So we that's our commitment. It's to hire the engineer back, bring them back when both schools are open and in session, and when the city's work around the area is also happening to then present some real data. As far as the parking restrictions or recommendations on Oak Street, the three spots that it's being recommended to be removed at the beginning of Lawrence and Oak was from feedback from the fire department when we've met with city officials during the wraparound meetings that took place. It was because any emergency vehicles cannot make that turn if they were responding to any emergencies on Oak Street. So to allow for fire truck or any ambulance or school buses, that was the recommendation, and that's why the project is proposing that. And then in terms of the other parking spots that are being recommended to be removed, that is to allow for the implementation of the drop-off pickup area on Oak for students. When doing the design and being faced with the side of the street that will be the safest for our children to be dropped off and picked up, that's why the recommendation to move this pickup and drop-off area on the back of the school, which is Oak versus Haverhill Street, which, as we know, is a busier street. We realized that the crosswalk, the recommendation is to add a raised crosswalk. It's going to be along the Cardillo Way passage. This will allow, with the flashing beacon, would allow to alert drivers that are driving around that there's potentially a pedestrian or kids walking through that crosswalk. It would also, the multiple crosswalks in that area, by keeping them all, which is 3, it also poses a higher risk for students and or drivers to get confused. Multiple kids and people, pedestrian crossing at multiple crosswalks, it allows for more confusion and more chaos. So for that safety and taking that into account, it's why the recommendation before you to eliminate the 2, just have the 1. And also some of the parking restrictions in front of the school is also to taking that into consideration was preventing from cars to be parked too close to the school building so that kids that are crossing, they're not kind of being mistaken or hiding in between cars. That also happens as well. So it is our commitment to be able to come back once school opens so that we can then do a concerted effort to then engage the community and the neighbors around the area. We did send communication. We did send flyers. When we were doing community meetings, we hosted community meetings, open forums, send invitations out to be able to educate or inform not only city residents in the entire city, but those that will be primarily impacted by this recommendation that we're putting forth before you tonight.
And through you, Council President, if I may, just for the record, some of the buildings that are in that area, they have parking. Just to add to her comment, but I'm still concerned about the city, the school department building a school without taking in consideration parking. But it looks like that school is not going to have parking. Am I correct? Parking, like as a part of the construction.
It's a small parking lot, and
sure.
Do we have parking?
I missed answering that part of your question, Councilor Luzon. Correct. The Oliver School was not intended to have any parking since we started presenting the. It's fair to say that when the school when the school received or the city received the funding through MSBA, and when we engaged with our OPMs, and we were looking into different spaces across the city to be able to build the school. There were multiple locations that were presented to city at the time, right, to city councilors for the potential location to build the school. Unfortunately, not unfortunately, but through some of that analysis, the other locations were not feasible due to other things, whether it was potential lead abatement or asbestos remediation. So then it was decided that the existing building, the current Oliver building, was the best building to build on, then the project became a reno/construction. So we renovated the front portion of the building due to the historic nature of the building, and then the new construction is the part on Oak Street that we're building. The school is 1,000 seats, Councilor Luzon, so is I'll add the Leahy School is also 1,000 seats, so between the two schools, you're looking at about 400 or 450 teachers that will be occupying, or staff that will be occupying the two schools. So the Oliver, about 225, 250 staff. Talking, I'm referencing anywhere between CAF workers to custodial to teachers to paras, and anything that, to principals, anything that makes up the staffing of a school. The Oliver does not come with parking. I think, it was a conversation through many of the meetings here at the city council with many councilors at the time. It was always a concern that the councilors brought forward and always asked the school and the team around what is going to be the parking solution. We reported during the ordinance committee when we came to discuss this item that internally, since Superintendent Carrero has been in office, we have been meeting consistently with the city officials, the planning office, the mayor, and others to try to navigate and figure out this same concern that you're raising, Councilor Luzon, which is parking for teachers, parking for staff. So we are in the planning, continue to be in the planning stages, and in fact, we just calendarized a meeting follow-up for May 1st. So we'll be happy to also report back. So anything is at the table, right, to be able to alleviate and be able to come with a solution to see what parking can be available for our staff.
And I, through you, Council President, I understand and I appreciate on behalf of my constituents the effort, but I also, it's leaving me with no answer because there's no space on District B. I don't see any land that we can use that belongs to the city that we can use for parking. I just hope that that is also part of the conversation. There's nothing that I'm able to see available for parking in my district. I think that the city is going to have to take in consideration removing some meters, through you, Council President, removing some parking meters that we have on Haverhill Street. Not only because it's going to create more, it's going to be more difficult for teachers to park, also for the residents that live around there. The more teachers, the staff, it looks like the staff is going to increase, the amount of teachers that we're going to have is going to increase, and parking is going to be challenging. I know that it's a growing pain and that we have to approve that because we also have many new residents in the city, families with children that need this facility, but parking must be part of any conversation that it's going to impact District B, the entire city. It's going to impact the entire city. Mm-hmm. And I would like to be included in any future conversation, if it's possible, with the school department, to at least make sure that we inform the residents that, to keep continuing informing the residents that this is coming, and hopefully the city, the administration, and the city council, along with the school department, can find at least a option to offer to residents and to the new staff that is going to be working at the school. Thank you, Council President.
Thank you. Councilor Santiago.
Yes, there are many conversations about the parking. I know it does new school or bigger. The school come bigger or two schools together, and we have 1,000 kids. If I didn't hear, it's all right. 1,000. Do you know what is the plan for the crossing guard? Because for morning and afternoon, really, I do not go there because will be the big challenge to cross this way. And for the crossing guard, we got in my district, District A, we got Parton School have horrible traffic there, and it's not in the center of the city. It is on the side. I can imagine it in the center with 1,000 kids and not enough crossing guard. I would like to hear what is the plan for to cross those kids in morning and evening or afternoon as well, or they have after school program.
Yes, good question, Councilor Santiago. So, with opening the new school, the Oliver Middle School, which is currently at the old high school, what we know as the old high school, North Common Education Complex, will be moving to their new school. So there is currently about 2 or 3 crossing guards that are supporting that building, because that building houses 3 separate programs. The old high school has the Leahy School, the Oliver Middle, and our SCS program. So we'll be reshifting, right? And then we, through this meeting, I guess I'll take the opportunity to make a plea to any city resident or anyone that will be interested in becoming a crossing guard to support this initiative, to come and apply at the school department. As you know, Councilor Santiago, there's a shortage of that, and we're doing the best that we can to promote the need, and we hope that when the school opens, we'll have a better pool of candidates that we can then hire to be our crossing guards and supporting that initiative for our students.
Through you, Council President,
Councilor
I know
Santiago.
it's not the school department, but I would like to hear some special plan for the crossing guard, because the time the crossing guard has is difficult to get the job, because they put it just the time, the shift on the morning and coming back to the afternoon, and didn't receive pay for the hour they are missing. And I would like to hear a better solution for crossing guard, and if maybe we can implement more hours for them. We can hire more personnel for crossing guard, and that's why we have the issues in partner school, because of the time.
Thank you for that. We'll take that into account.
All right. Councilor Levy.
Thank you, Council President, through you. If we adopt this amendment right now, I don't see like a time. It's going to be 24/7, this parking restriction, or it's going to be just only during the time of the school open?
So the elimination of the parking spaces, the 23, it will be to allow for the creation of the drop-off that the project comes with. So you're driving down Lawrence into Oak, so you're on Oak Street, you pass the library, then you pass kind of like the parking lot to the FINA house, and then the lane shifts over to the right to allow for that to be the area of the drop-off and pickup for buses primarily.
Yes, but we have also at the corner on the Haverhill Street and Lawrence.
Those will be permanent. I mean, the resolution is permanent, and school is in session 180 days out of the year, from about,
Yeah, but
7
the school
to,
is
so.
practically is open from Monday through Friday.
Mhm.
Okay, and this is like from 7 or 7:30 to 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock. So during that time, people will be allowed to use the spaces?
I mean, what's on the table is the elimination of the spaces, and if and when this passes, it will go through the proper channels of the DPW, along with the support from the project, to create the appropriate signage for those parking spaces to be eliminated.
Important in here is the safety of the children. It's one of the most important part in here. But because we are eliminating so many spaces, so if people are, during the time that is no school. The school is no open Saturday, Sunday, holidays. So right now we're gonna have a vacation. So how it's gonna be also be dealing, how people is gonna deal with those parking spaces.
So I think,
At least those areas.
yeah, so I think that would be, at that point, it would be a conversation with the city, right? I don't know that that's the city, I don't know that that will be the school to police or to implement that. We're coming here to request the elimination of those spaces. What happens after hours, or if there's a baseball, softball game or anything on the weekend, if there's no if it says no parking and there's no sign, you know, and there's a sign there and people are parking, I mean, I would assume that the police will take notice, and that will be a matter that will be a matter of the police department.
So I would like to see if this is being taken into consideration due to the fact that like everybody is being scared right now with the problem with having this city with parking space. So, and I know that a lot of people, when they don't see that a school is open, it's going to start like a parking or using, but it's going to be also a lot of tickets, you know, we're going to have a lot of complaint here in the city regarding, oh, I just parked it, nobody is being using, it's not a school, the school is closed. So that is another piece that maybe has to be taken into consideration.
Noted. I mean, I'll say it again, all these plans, through all the process and the phases of the project were being presented through numerous meetings that we've held with city officials, city personnel around the need of the school, and then a lot of what you see before you tonight, it's based on the recommendations from those numerous meetings that were had in collaboration with city personnel, including fire, police, DPW, planning.
Yes, as children is the most important, but also we need to look on the constituency around the city. And I know there is a lot of problem right now.
We'll continue to, provide education or reminders to our families. Remember that our district, our neighborhood school based. The goal through our partnership with Safe Routes to School and the City of Lawrence through their mobility initiative, it's for our students to walk, for students to use any other form of transportation other than parents, needing to drive them. We anticipate Oak Street to be primarily used by a lot of our buses for those students that require busing from us based on their IEP and individualized educational plans, and or any possible private transportation that are hired by our parents to transport their student.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Question, I don't know if I understood you correctly. There is going to be physical actual curbs to be able to design this thing, or it's going to be based on pavement markings?
Depends on the location if is raised curbing or not, but there is pavement markings in many of the locations to clearly outline, for safety and.
But not curbing, right? Not curbing.
Curbing, no curbing.
The curbs? It's not curbs.
Within the road, no.
Okay. All right.
Council President, if I may.
Yes, Councilor Song. I'm gonna before I actually entertain you, I'm gonna pass it over to Councilor Plant.
Thank you.
So I wanted to pursue the questioning that my colleague to my left has started, and I want to ask Mr. McCarthy to come forward because I think this is a question for him. And I've listened to my colleague from District B, and speaking of pain, she's going to feel the most pain, I think, because she represents this area, and she is going to have constituents who are going to be beside themselves when they're not going to be able to come home at night to find a place to park, or they're looking for different, that we're capping it. So let me drill down. Out of the things that the clerk read as part of my motion, there's 1, 2, 3, 4 elements on that. Why can't we have these parking restrictions Monday through Friday, I'm going to throw hours out that I can change, from 7 a.m. to 5 p.m. And let the people who live in the area, who are struggling for traffic to find a place to park, at least be able to park at night, and then at least be able to leave first thing in the morning. At least give them something. Again, not my district, but I hear the pain, and I want to see what we can do to try to remove some of this. What are your thoughts, Mr. McCarthy?
I mean, I don't see anything inherently wrong with that. I think what we're asking is to create this no parking area on Oak Street is an alteration of how the parking situation that is there already. And it's intended to be for the school hours. Right now, Oak Street is so narrow that it's a one-way street and you can park on one side and traffic can come smoothly. If we're creating a drop-off lane, we can't have parking on one side of the drop-off lane because it'll create a bottleneck. And for that reason, we do have to have that clear during the day, that section between it during the day. I think Ms. Hernandez said, and again, I don't disagree, I don't see any reason why parking on weekends or even evenings should be a problem. Now, I guess if you look at whether you might have events at the school that might be scheduled regularly, that it might create an issue. But again, that's something that we really need to probably take a look at in a longer road. Now, and again, the city and the school department fully intend to do a full evaluation of this. Again, we're redoing Amesbury Street to make that a two-way street and direct a lot of the traffic, the through traffic, off of Lawrence Street, which creates some of the bottleneck in the street. We'd like it situated so that in the mornings and in the afternoons, people are aware that this is a school district, and that they should avoid it by all means. Again, we're asking for a no parking zone in the area. We're not asking for any specific hours. I think we need to sit back and look and see what the effect of that is, and if we have to revisit it and maybe put up a limitation on hours, we can certainly do that, but I don't think we're at that point now. We're at we reviewed a number of different plans, and we did the one that was going to be the least restrictive, will cause the least hardship on the people who live in that neighborhood. It's not a heavily populated residential area, but there are some people who do live on Oak Street. Many of them have their own off-street parking, but some households don't. So we're very aware of that. So that's why part of it, where the households are, we didn't even touch it. We left all that parking for them.
So I will ask, just, I'm not going to make this motion, so I know my colleague from District B is listening, so this is, if she likes where this is going, she can make this motion. If she doesn't like it, she won't make the motion, or she'll amend it of some sort. But I got one more question regarding this. If you could wave a magic wand to figure out what the right times would be, this is probably a question for Ms. Hernandez, excuse me, a better question, which is, what time would that be? What time does school begin and what time did the teachers show up? Maybe that's the time, and then what time does school end and teachers are gone? Do we have a ballpark as to what those times are?
Sure. So right now, in our current schools that do share parking lots with the residents, we say between the hours of 6 and 4 p.m. You ask what time teachers start arriving. They start arriving as early as 6 a.m. because they're looking for parking. Oftentimes, what we encounter in the challenge with that right now, especially during the winter, is residents not abiding by exiting the parking lot or the areas that are a shared lot between the school and the city, leaving on time. So then we often struggle. There's a challenge there, especially around the winter, snow, when we need to clear the parking lot. So teachers are arriving anywhere around 6 o'clock in the morning, 6:30. School starts for students 7:30 for breakfast. They end at 2:45 or 2:50, depending on whether it's an elementary or middle school. And teachers don't leave till 3:30. After 3:30, depending on the day, if they're there for professional development, it could be 4 o'clock. Remember, our schools are supposed to be a community safe space as well, so if there's any after-school activities or anything for students that is taking place, any report card night or anything for families, then they will be there later. If you're asking me for an ideal time, 6 to 4.
6 to 4.
Council President, if I may,
Councilor Luzon?
can I make an amendment to Councilor's Lapland motion? 'Cause I
You
think,
can propose it and then
what
let's see if we
Council-
accept it. You can propose it.
Yes.
Can you?
So I think what the point that Councilor Levy explained is valid and it makes sense for the residents, not only for the residents, Council President, for the people that use the O'Neill Park.
Yeah, the
Remember,
activities.
also people use that, the community use that for softball during summer and spring and summer. And I think if we can amend the motion to have these parking spaces available for the school from 6 a.m. to 5 p.m. On weekdays, will be very beneficial. We can revisit this later on. And if it doesn't work for the community, we can amend that. But I mean, my amendment is to have the parking spaces blocked from 6 a.m. to 5 p.m.
To 5
on
or 4?
weekdays.
Councilor Luzon, to 5 or to 4 p.m.?
We can do it into 5 p.m. from 6 a.m. to 5 p.m. on weekdays, but have the parking spaces available after 5 p.m. and during the weekends.
So
for
while the school
the
is in
residents
section.
and for people that use
Of course.
the fields, the softball field, the basketball field, the soccer field.
Yeah, the
So, I mean, you know that
Yeah.
Thank you, Council President.
All right, at this point, Councilor LaPlante, do you accept the amendment?
I'm not at this moment. I do want, but I might. I do want to hear back from the consultant who has a
Sure.
comment on it, and then I think I want to circle back to the Council from District B's amendment. I may
Sure.
amend
Let's
it.
allow that, the consultant to add to the conversation.
Thank you. The pavement markings are going to physically shift the traffic to the ball field side of the road, okay? So when you first turn onto Oak, you'll be on the right-hand side and they'll be parking on the left. As you approach the school, the lane will shift over to the left-hand side, and that's where the kind of the bus drop-off area is. You don't want to allow cars to park on that left-hand side because they'll be then going through the drop-off area, okay? We don't usually recommend time of day restrictions for parking because it's very hard to enforce, and if just one car is in the wrong spot, it messes everything up, right? So
No,
we
we don't.
definitely recommend against that because it'd be very dangerous. Cars won't be driving on the right-hand side in front of the school. They'll be on the ball field side.
Yeah, we completely understand where you're coming from. I mean, the problem is that out here we have no parking whatsoever. So, and we're thinking about, the discussion is around also accommodating the community, accommodating a huge park that we have with two softball field right next to it, and then we have a football field, we have a basketball field, we have a lot of other things that are just around there and no parking. So that's why the conversation is around.
Yeah, I think the only thing you might consider, and again, enforcement is the problem, or people following the rules, so to speak, is the bus lane itself could be restricted to certain times, so that cars are always following the same traffic pattern as they're going through. But in theory, the drop-off lane could be restricted to certain times only.
Do you have a set of plans for the traffic, how it's gonna look like, the drop-off area? Because I was looking for those and I wasn't able to see it.
It should be within the package. We submitted it when we submitted the
Probably in
item.
a very small.
We'll
very
send, we
small
have like an
section
11
in
by
it.
17 that we can
Do we
that we
have
can
I
reshare.
don't see it here. Let me see the traffic. Let me take a look at it.
Can I come over there and give this to you?
I see it here, but I don't mean. Yeah.
Do you want me to turn it off? I'm sorry.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, I'll entertain. I'll entertain any other question. Councilor Luzon, do you have any other questions?
Yes, Council President, and through you, I think parking is already tied for the O'Neill Park as it is right now. And I think we have to take in consideration that. And I just hope that my colleagues take that in consideration, and we can make this work for the safety of the children, but also for the residents around that area, and for the people that use the O'Neill Park. So once again, I'm going to ask my Councilor LaPlante to reconsider the amendment to his motion.
I'm not gonna, I want there to be a vote. I will second the amendment offered by my colleague and have a vote on that amendment.
Understand. Councilor Luzon, he is not accepting your amendment, but he is willing to second if you have this as a separate motion. So.
Can I make a motion, or do we need to vote on his motion first?
No. If you want to make a motion to amend the timing, then we enter into the discussion to amend the timing. So
I'm making it,
just make a motion.
I have the floor, Council President.
Yes.
So I would like to make a motion to amend Councilor LaPlante and add the restriction only from 6 a.m. to 5 p.m. only on weekends, only on weekdays, and that parking to be available after 5 p.m. and on weekdays to residents of District B.
I'll second that motion.
There's a motion on the table, properly second. Now we're going to get into the discussion around the no parking passenger, on the drop-off zone with parking allowed after 5 p.m. all the way to 6 in the morning. So, councilors, any questions on this specific part of the discussion?
Council President.
Councilor Levy.
My question regarding this hour, I know that I started talking about the time, but at what time is like the last hour during the day that the children get out of school during school time?
The normal session, not the kids that are in the after school, because obviously they can stay all the way to 6, 7.
2:50 p.m.
2:50.
Okay.
That's where the majority of the kids leave the school.
Mm-hmm. I may add that I also want to caution and put it at the forefront that with this amendment of a 6 to 5, there will be a lot of education to the community as well, because if we're coming in the morning and there's cars parked there, we're going to have to tow. So to be able to be ready for the morning to allow for the buses or the families or whoever it is dropping off to be able to have access to that area. So although it's a tough decision, and I understand we need to think not only about the safety of our students, but also you have the tougher dilemma of also, representing your district, is that it may also be a burden to the residents having to get up to move their cars or having to face being towed.
Yeah, those are the consequences of being on that area.
It would also be a harder transition and education piece of the two, right? So I just wanna, it would be, it wouldn't be wise of me not to put this also at the table to
No,
also
I mean,
have you
that's
guys
being
think about.
transparent. We understand that.
Mhm.
Thank you.
Mhm.
Councilor Rosario.
Yeah, through you, Council President. With privilege comes responsibility. So we amend the time, we also need to educate our city, what's the consequences they're gonna have to pay. And I, honestly speaking, I agreed, and I've been fighting for that and all that stuff. So we need to teach the community that we're gonna give you this, we're gonna allow you to do this, but you're gonna comply with the hours. If not, you're gonna pay the consequences. But one thing I wanna mention that is never mentioned here, and it's always thrown to us, enforcement comes from the police. But I'm assuming that the school department should have a personal relationship with the police to demand enforcement. And that's up to you guys to demand that enforcement. We're here to amend the time. We might, Councilor Luzon might go out and tell the people what she did and what they need to do to comply with this. But when it comes to enforcement, you guys have to also, the school department needs to contact the police on 24/7. And make sure that they enforce, because that was the question that I had the last time I was here. Because you're gonna have a parking block on the corner to make sure that the emergency vehicles would turn. But who's gonna make sure that nobody's parked there? Who's gonna enforce that? I asked that the other day, and they said, well, we're gonna bring you some type of, we're gonna have a conversation, and we're gonna bring you, who is gonna enforce? So hopefully with all these changes, you guys also can have the police enforce a little bit more. Because sometimes it's not parking issues, it's enforcement issues that we have in the city. Thank you.
Right, another question that was brought up, it was in the area of the no parking, right passing the, what's the name of the alleyway?
Cardillo Way.
Yeah, passing that area, there is the 4 parking spots that are blocked on there.
Yeah.
So, are those also gonna be available for the public while the school is not in section?
Well, at least 2 of those spaces are directly in front of the loading for the school. So again, that would depend on the hours that, any loading.
So loading, like, literally the loading?
Yeah, so there's
Okay.
a roll-up door there with a little ramp from the
Gotcha.
street.
Well, those parking should be loading zone then, instead of no parking. Because the loading zone, and then it will be, allow people that are loading and unloading,
Yep.
instead of no parking, because no parking is no parking. So, some modifications on there too. So the discussions around, right now is around the timing. So, and also the responsibility of enforcement, and potentially, to be transparent, people that might get told, if we allow people to park there, after, 5 PM all the way to 6 in the morning. So any other questions, councilors, around the timing? At this point, I will entertain Councilor
Yes.
Levin.
I think that we can right now decide on the 6 to 5, but later maybe see something change if they
Yeah, we're
see
gonna revisit.
any any change that has to be done, so to come back and to let it know that the timing 5 o'clock is not good, or the 6 o'clock is. I think so that this is something that we still keep it open for a discussion.
Yeah, the main discussion today is around having a temporary solution, and then subsequently, when the school is in section, they're gonna come back either or to make it a permanent or to change. I'm assuming, right?
Yes,
That's the intent. That's the compromise, I guess,
I'm
right?
pretty sure that you'll be seeing a lot of us during that time, and you'll be hearing a lot from your constituents. So, we make that commitment. I think that, when I raised the question around also being aware that there will be consequences, potential, right, maybe not, of vehicles being towed, I think I present that humbly to just make you aware that you may be hearing from your constituents around my car got towed, right? And also to be aware and remember this conversation tonight that, okay, it's not so much about the education, it's that you were parked during the time that you were not supposed to. I agree, Councilor De Rosario, I think it's a joint effort. We have staff in our buildings as early as 5 o'clock in the morning, so we'll make the commitment from a school department standpoint to monitor, and we will have to monitor, right? Because the consequences, if there are cars parked in any of those initial spots on the corner of Oak and Lawrence, that means that then buses and others cannot make that turn. So then we would make the, as we always do, we would then have that collaboration in calling the police department. Our relationship with the police is strong.
No, definitely. I mean, thank you for the disclaimer. I mean, this is part of just, consequences. Any other questions in regard to the timing? All right, I'll entertain, I'll call the motion. Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
This is on the secondary motion with regard to amending the time limitations. I'm going to start with Councilor Reyes.
Yes.
Councilor Marmol.
Yes.
Councilor Santiago.
Yes.
Councilor Del Rosario.
Yes.
Councilor Luzon.
Yes.
Councilor LaPlante.
Yes.
Councilor Levy.
Yes.
Council Vice President Infante
Notice.
is recused herself, excuse me, thank you. And Council President.
I vote yes. So now the discussion is around the approval of the traffic setup that we have here. So any other questions in regard to the main motion, which is to approve the drop-off area?
Move the
All right,
question,
at this
Council
point, I'll call the questions. Madam Clerk, please call the question.
Councilor Levy.
Yes.
Councilor LaPlante.
Yes.
Councilor Luzon.
Yes.
Councilor Del Rosario.
Yes.
Councilor Santiago.
Yes.
Councilor Marmol.
Yes.
Councilor Reyes.
Yes.
The Vice President has recused herself. Council President.
I vote yes. Motion carries. Congratulations.
Thank you. Have a good evening, councilors.
All right, thank you. Just revisit the plan.
Thank you,
as
councilors.
per- Thank you. Just revisit the plan to reflect that, the loading zone. All right, let's go on top of the agenda. We have matter spending public hearing. We have several communication from the mayors, city officials, city attorney. Councilors, we have nothing on this specific area, but now that we are going through this, I would like to bring something to everybody's attention as of a potential project that we have here at the chambers. We are in the process of doing some remodeling to the city council chambers. And part of the remodeling is to increase this area where we're sitting, the staging area. We are potentially increase this area for about 7.5 inches, 7.5 inches, 7.25, to make it ADA compliance. And we are going to have a ramp on this side of the stage around the TV to be ADA accessible. And we're gonna have one step around the door. That's why we have the door being moved. With this a specific change, we're gonna be able to have a better visibility on the chambers. The staging area here where we're sitting, we're gonna have this furniture that are gonna be new furnitures and potentially new chairs also. The floors are gonna be fixed. And the chair for people to come over and witness what happened here in the chambers or seat, those are going to be replaced as well. The intent is to paint and remodel this place to a point that it's going to be better and more comfortable for the people to be part of the meetings, but as well to the councilors that are performing business here. You have a set of plans of the staging, also how they're gonna look like. That is in front of you. MassCore have put this plan together. The stage here, these is gonna be replaced. And we're gonna have potentially our secretary and sitting in the front, and potentially the assistant city clerk as well. As you can have it on the plan. Sometime we are, also we are planning on doing some fixing on the roof, have new lighting, and have this whole place reconstructed, built for the benefit of the community. The chambers is also used for different events, lately promotions for the police department, and as well of wedding on a daily basis. We want to make sure like we have a place that people feel comfortable, more welcoming, and maintain the tradition of the chambers. So in the next few weeks, few months, you're probably gonna have some inconvenience, but eventually we're gonna have a better place. Construction is not fun, but there is time that we're gonna have to face this type of construction matters. All right, with that said, we're gonna continue with the committee report. We have the Budget and Finance Committee, and we have item 13825, which is the authorization to spend $54,000, 932.70. Madam Vice President Infante and the Chair of the Budget and Finance Committee.
Thank you, Council President. Budget and Finance Committee met yesterday, and we have one item, I could not attend the meeting yesterday, something came up for me, but the meeting was still held. We have one item 138-25, authorization to expend in the amount of $54,932.70 towards the Commonwealth Transportation Infrastructure Enhancement Fund. And from my understanding, the committee sent this as a favorable recommendation pending some documentations requested related to the project and timeframe. So I make that as a formal motion.
Motion on the table, properly seconded by Councilor Santiago. Discussion around this item.
Discussion.
Councilor Vice President Infante.
Thank you. Through you, Council President, I would like to turn this over to the Vice Chair of the Budget and Finance Committee to remind us of what the documentations the Budget and Finance Committee had requested.
Councilor Mamo.
So there were discussions surrounding the scope of the project. It was mentioned that it will be held on, the project is focusing on Essex Street from Union all the way to Winter Street. They mentioned several, like various factors that would be part of this project, which is replacing signages, markings, fixing certain parts of sidewalks, so not full blocks of the sidewalks, and I believe they mentioned road work as well.
Yes.
Repaving the roads. So I know we have the engineer, Oliver Aguilar, that could speak more in detail in terms of the project itself. So the committee members did decide to vote in favor, but pending documentation as to what the details were regarding the scope of the project. I believe Councilor Duzon, due to the fact that there's so many challenges with parking already, so the fear of business owners being affected negatively, potentially having an impact to business. There were questions surrounding how long this project will take, when exactly this project will initiate, and what is the time frames of when the constructions will take place.
Council President?
Councilor Vice President Infante.
Thank you. I have a question for Council Marmol. So what I'm seeing here, this is the original documentation that was included, just a memo, cash receipt voucher, and payment history.
Councilor Rocha?
Yeah, yeah.
This is exactly what was part of the binder.
Do we know if this
They
fund?
also send an email. They send an email with the information.
They sent an email, but this is what we received for the meeting, so.
So
Yes,
So
that's-
what was the email? That was what,
That's
this
where,
morning.
that's where I'm getting at.
All
And
right, give me 1 second, guys. The email was sent, and the information that we request was on the email. Because we have the item as an anticipated item. They work on that today, and they send it over. Part of that information was sent previously, and they add the information that we request on that email. Yeah.
Thank you, Council President. Where I'm getting at is, and I'm glad that we have the Assistant City Engineer here, because we are consistently requesting for department heads to provide a completed packet. And we're consistently asking for information for us to receive the full picture of what these projects are and what we're approving or not approving. And I don't know how many times this council needs to repeat this to department heads for everyone to get to understand that. And I hope that this does not continue. I fear that it will, but I hope I don't have to say this again. If I was running the meeting, I would have tabled this.
Yeah, let me just clarify a few things here, because there is a couple of things that when it comes to this specific item, the $54,932, this is an item that is going to be used just for pavement marking throughout the city. What happened last night, it was that since the project was going to be on the downtown, or part of the markings was going to be around the downtown area, we also attach the conversations around all the items that happened in the past. When it comes to the $1.2 million that we approved previously for the downtown area improvement, including turning to the left, and including many other little projects, little things that was going to happen around the downtown, and including marking sidewalks and infrastructures like road and so far, so on, curving and so far. So that's why we mixed the two together. But when it comes to this specific item, the package with the information was provided, and we just put it all together because it's gonna. These funds also gonna be part of the main project that we previously approved. And we asked for more information from other projects and these projects, thinking about the business around the downtown area, and subsequently how we can inform the public around the project that's going to take place around the downtown. But this specific amount of funds, the $54,000, is for the entire city, for markings and stuff like that.
Okay, thank you, Council President.
No problem. So that's just to be fair to the department. So councilors, when it comes to this specific amount of money, we received an email today, everybody, for about 300 pages of information, that we have everything there. But when it comes to this specific item, I just want to make sure that this is for marking, and this specific money come from that the Uber and Lyft and Share Drive share money that they put for the communities. And this is for marking specifically throughout the city. So councilors, when it comes to this item specifically, any questions?
Council President,
Councilor Luzon.
just, and yes, last night was it was not clear. The project was not clear. But in my understanding, it's not going to be payment. It's not going to work on the road. So that was my concern. And it looks like that this project was approved by the city council, and what they're looking for now is approval to spend this amount of money. So thank you to the city engineer and the assistant engineer for resending the information. So I will vote yes and support this project, the amount of money that they are requesting.
No problem. Thank you, Councilor Luzon. So at this point, I'll call the roll. Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Councilor Reyes.
Yes.
Councilor Marmal.
Yes.
Councilor Santiago.
Yes.
Councilor Del Rosario.
Yes.
Councilor Luzon.
Yes.
Councilor LaPlante.
Yes.
Councilor Levy.
Yes.
Council Vice President Infante.
Yes.
Council President Rodriguez.
Yes. Motion carries. Thank you so much. Now, councilors, let's go to a few items that might need some translation, so we can entertain those at front. Councilor LaPlante from the Ordinance Committee, do you mind entertaining item 12825?
Sure, we also have other folks here as well from the cab companies, for example, like to take
Yep.
them out as order, and we have Samana Hispan. We've got some other folks here too, so. You'd like me to do which one, Council President, first?
12825.
So yeah,
Preach the words of God.
Sure, preach the word of God, various dates and locations. They're in your packet, all the locations. This was sent up to the full council with a favorable recommendation. And we did receive, and it should be in our packets, if not, our speaker here does have copies of it, but, so this was sent up to the full council with favorable recommendation, and I make that in the form of a motion.
Second.
There is a motion on the table, properly second discussion. I hear none. Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Councilor Levy.
Yes.
Councilor LaPlante.
Yes.
Councilor Luzon.
Yes.
Councilor Del Rosario.
Yes.
Councilor Santiago.
Yes.
Councilor Marmal.
Yes.
Councilor Reyes.
Yes.
Council Vice President Infante.
Yes.
Councilor Rodriguez.
Yes. Councilor LaPlante, if you mind.
Yeah, I want to say thank you and good night, but I want to extend my apology for last week with Ms. Councilor Rosario. I misunderstood about the issue that we were talking, so I want to extend my sincere apologies.
No problem. Have a good night.
All
Thank
right,
you.
have a good
Thank
night.
you.
Thank you. God bless.
Councilor LaPlante, go ahead with the Ordinance Committee reports.
Yeah, I think everybody's here. So 6625, this is all of in July. The Sweet 16 anniversary feast at the Camping Common from 10 a.m. to 9 p.m. on July 5th. This was sent up to the full council with a favorable recommendation, and we did get background that the comment is available for that time at that location. Make that in the form of a motion.
Second.
There's a motion on the motion in front of us, properly second discussion. I hear none. All those in favor, please say aye. Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Councilor Levy. Councilor LaPlante.
Yes.
Councilor Luzon.
Yes.
Councilor Del Rosario.
Yes.
Councilor Santiago.
Yes.
Councilor Marmal.
Yes.
Councilor Reyes.
Yes.
Council Vice President Infante.
Yes.
Council President Rodriguez.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Very might.
Item 10225.
Yeah, so this is document 10225. American Taxi renewal of the taxi livery license was sent up to the full council with a favorable recommendation, and to make that in the form of a motion.
Motion on the table, properly second discussion.
Discussion.
Councilor LaPlante.
So I'm not going to repeat on all of these. This is the first one. We have approximately, 7 or 8 of these that are here. This went through the police department vetting. Police department has done all the background checks, et cetera, have produced every one of these with a favorable recommendation to us. So that's number one. Number two, at the ordinance committee, we had a variety of different questions and concerns that committee members raised to all of the taxi companies and livery companies and that we're responding to at that point. And I'll just, we can drill on it again tonight, but speeding, double parking, noise, and horn use were the common elements that were brought up for each one of the livery companies. And I just want to reiterate, since I have the floor right now, obviously to me, my area, it's the horns, that's the big thing. But the speeding thing that I think my colleague has addressed, and he rightfully addresses, and I think what we need to be, our taxi owners need to be responsible for that and not just blame their drivers, but have the authority with their drivers to make sure they're doing that. And it's for them. I mean, it's not they should have certain control over the speeding that's going on. So I think that's an important element that needs to be made, and I'm so glad that my colleague from District C, who's been really a proponent out front, especially on the speeding issues, he was tonight, and he was during the ordinance committee, and I do support him on that line of thinking. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Councilor LaPlante. Councilor Rosario, have any questions? All right. Essentially, what I hear from the ordinance committee is that we need to make a commitment between the taxi owners or the medallions carriers to the drivers, and subsequently that's going to reflect into the community when it comes to speeding issues. When it comes to every issue that Councilor LaPlante, the chair of the committee, have shared with you guys, it is a commitment that we're looking for. Obviously, every single one of you guys are there and potentially face consequences when it comes to enforcement. But what we're looking for here is a commitment from you guys that transmit directly to the drivers and subsequently got positive result throughout the community. This is not about pushing more than what we have to, but it is something that came in front of us every year, and we always keep on mentioning the same thing. So once we make a commitment, we would like to see positive result around that. That's what I hear. That's the feeling that I'm getting from the different councilors that I have spoke to about this issue. So any questions in regard to that?
No,
you can talk to him. Yeah, you can talk to Mike.
No, yo no tengo ninguna pregunta.
No questions.
Councilors, any other questions?
You gotta speak Spanish, I need to hear this.
Councilors, any other questions? I hear none, so we're going straight to the item 10225. Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Councilor Reyes? Yes. Councilor Marmol?
Yes.
Councilor Santiago?
Yes.
Councilor Del Rosario?
Yes.
Councilor Luzon?
Yes.
Councilor LaPlante?
Yes.
Councilor Levy? Yes. Council Vice President Infante?
Yes.
Council President Rodriguez?
Vote yes. Thank you. Thank you, sir.
The next document, he may want to stick around. I think he owns a sinking company. 10325 is Liberty Taxi. Yeah, I knew this was going to happen. Liberty Taxi. The ordinance committee sent this up with a favorable recommendation to renew his taxi license and make that in the form of a motion.
Second.
License.
Oh, it's a Liberty. Okay, gotcha. All right, there's a motion on the table, properly second. Discussion. Councilor LaPlante.
Yeah, the only thing I was going to add on that is that this is a license. We're not required to issue licenses. We issue license because, thank you. I just want to say that the service that the livery companies and the tax company are important. They're important to the fabric of our city. We already talked about the amazing congestion and traffic and parking problems that we have. The fact that we have companies that for hire are able to do this reduces potentially reduces that and the public transportation, the need for vehicles in our city, and makes our city more manageable. Can you imagine our city without buses and without cabs? How many more cars there would be? It would be, I don't want to think how bad that could be, but it would be really bad. So anyway, I'm not going to say this to everybody that's coming up, but I want to thank the cab companies and the livery companies who rarely hear that, as long as they obey the things that we're talking about, but their service is important. Thank you.
All right. Any other questions? All right, at this point, I'll call the question. Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Councilor Levy?
Yes.
Councilor LaPlante?
Yes.
Councilor Luzon?
Yes.
Councilor Del Rosario?
Yes.
Counselor Santiago?
Yes.
Counselor Marmal?
Yes.
Counselor Reyes?
Yes.
Council Vice President Infante?
Yes.
Council President Rodriguez?
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Now, item 10425, popular taxi.
Yeah, this is, ordinance committee met to send this document, which is Popular Taxi Company LLC, a renewal of its license, sent to the full council with a favorable recommendation, and make that as a form of a motion.
There's a motion on the table, properly second. Discussion. Any questions? Right, essentially the same questions for everybody. People representing Popular.
Are they here? Is the,
Popular Taxi?
they were here for the ordinance committee.
Oh, okay.
Okay, good.
You,
I thought we finished it.
no, we're doing it one by one. So we're in Popular now.
Oh, all right, okay.
Who's Popular Taxi?
They are not here.
They're not here?
I was here.
They were here for the ordinance.
Okay.
Ordinance, on, so whatever that's worth.
Please bring the message to them. Essentially, what we want is, we want to make a commitment between the council, the taxi medallion owners, the licensees, to ensure that, all those issues that were brought up, they share the feeling of the people, and they part of the community. So why not to be part of the solution as well?
Yes, I can deliver the
Thank you.
message. And we are working together with the police station, any issue, we always come to them. We have a Sergeant Mark, he's represent the taxi in Lawrence. And any problem we have, we call him, or they call us, and we're talking. And we try to do the best we can.
Thank you.
And, we have all kinds of different people. We have a meeting all the time. I'm the president of the Merrimack Taxi, but when I receive a complaint, I call all of them. Sometimes we give you a couple hours off to work. Maybe we can change a little bit. But you know how that thing works.
Thank you, appreciate
But
it.
we try to do the best. Thank you.
Thank
We
you.
all set? I'm all
Yeah,
set?
we're good. No, we're just gonna keep on doing it, so just stay.
Very
Madam Chair, just call the roll for that Popular Taxi.
All right.
Away.
Councilor Levy?
Yes.
Yeah, Mary Max is next.
Councilor LaPlante?
Yes.
Councilor Luzon?
Yes.
Councilor Del Rosario?
Yes.
Councilor Santiago?
Yes.
Councilor Marmal?
Yes.
Councilor Reyes?
Yes.
Council Vice President Infante?
Yes.
Council President Rodriguez?
Yes. So now we're going with item 10525, which is the Merrimack Taxi Corporation.
Yeah, the ordinance committee met on this document, Merrimack Taxi Company 10525, and then sent this up to the full council with a favorable recommendation to renew its taxi license, making that in the form of a motion.
Second.
There's a motion on the table, properly second discussion. You hear it. You're the messenger. So thank you for everything you do.
Thank you.
I'll call the question at this time. Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Councilor Reyes? Yes. Councilor Marmal?
Yes.
Councilor Santiago?
Yes.
Councilor Del Rosario?
Yes.
Councilor Luzon?
Yes.
Councilor LaPlante?
Yes.
Councilor Levy?
Yes.
Council Vice President Infante?
Yes.
Council President Rodriguez?
I vote yes. So all of the taxes has been approved again. So now we're gonna go with the, I guess, 5-star, which is a Liberty.
10625 is Five Star Express Transportation LLC. The ordinance committee met and sent this up to the full council with a favorable recommendation to renew its livery license. Make that in the form of a motion.
There's a motion on the table, properly second. Discussion around the 5-star Express Transportation.
I was going to say one thing about this. This is 1 year. These are 1 year renewals for these licenses. I know we got some relatively new city councilors here. 1 year renewals, and frankly, they expire on December 31st. So the police department we need there's some work that got to be done next year to get these in a more timely manner, so that these licenses don't lapse. Thank you, Council President.
Thank you. Thank you for the information. Any questions around the 5-star Express Transportation? I hear none. Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Councilor Levy?
Yes.
Councilor LaPlante?
Yes.
Councilor Luzon?
Yes.
Councilor Del Rosario?
Yes.
Councilor Santiago? Counselor Marmal?
Yes.
Counselor Reyes?
Yes.
Council Vice President?
Yes.
Council President Rodriguez?
Vote yes. Item 10825, L&M Transportation LLC.
I'm going to go with 107, which is Rio Hondo Transport
Rio Hondo.
LLC, and this is a ordinance committee met and sent this up to the full council with a favorable recommendation to renew its livery license. That's the motion.
There's a motion on the table for Rio
Second.
Hondo. There's a motion on the table, properly second. Any discussion? I hear none. Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Counselor Reyes?
Yes.
Counselor Marmal?
Yes.
Counselor Santiago?
Yes.
Counselor Del Rosario?
Yes.
Counselor Luzon?
Yes.
Counsel LaPlante?
Yes.
Counselor Levy?
Yes.
Council Vice President Infante?
Yes.
Council President Rodriguez?
Vote yes. Now, item 10825.
This is L&M Transportation LLC, was sent up to the full council with a favorable recommendation to renew its livery license. That's the motion.
Second.
There's a motion on the table, properly second. Discussion around this item. I hear none. Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Counselor Levy?
Yes.
Counselor LaPlante?
Yes.
Counselor Luzon?
Yes.
Counselor Del Rosario?
Yes.
Counselor Santiago?
Yes.
Counselor Marmal?
Yes.
Counselor Reyes?
Yes.
Council Vice President Infante?
Yes.
Council President Rodriguez?
Vote yes. Item 10925, New York City United Express.
Ordinance committee met to send this document up with a favorable recommendation to provide a renewal of a livery license for New York City United Express Incorporated. Make that in the form of a motion.
There's a motion on the table, properly second. Discussion.
Discussion. I think we have the owners
LaPlante?
here, and I'm glad that they're here, and I should have asked if the owners for Five Star and Rio Hondo were here. I'm not sure if they are, but I think it's good to put a name with the face.
I don't need a translator.
You do? You don't or do?
No, oh, I don't.
Oh, you're good. Go ahead.
I mean, yes, go ahead.
We don't have any question.
Oh, is that a question? Oh, okay. I thought that you related to Rio Hondo.
I just think it's important, and I'm glad they're here. I just think it's important for all of us, if we're going to be providing a license to somebody, we should see who we're providing a license to. Thank you for being here.
Thanks.
All right. Any questions for New York City United Express? All right. I hear none. All those in favor, please. Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Counselor Levy?
Yes.
Counselor LaPlante?
Yes.
Counselor Luzon?
Yes.
Counselor Del Rosario?
Yes.
Counselor Santiago?
Yes.
Counselor
Yes.
Marmal? Counselor Reyes?
Yes.
Council Vice President Infante?
Yes.
Council President Rodriguez?
Vote yes. Now, item 11025.
Thank you.
Town
Have a good night,
Livery.
guys.
This is Town
Thank
Livery.
you.
This is Town Livery Incorporated. The ordinance committee met and sent this up to the full council with a favorable recommendation to to renew the livery license for this organization. So I make that in the form of a motion.
Second.
There's a motion on the table, properly second. Can you smile a little bit? Thank you.
Thank
because
you.
people have like attitude here. I don't understand. I mean, that's fine.
It's been a long day.
Been here since 7 o'clock.
Item 11025, Town Livery. Any questions for Town Livery? Any questions? I hear none. Madam Clerk, please call the roll. Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Counselor Reyes? Yes. Counselor Marmal?
Yes.
Counselor Santiago?
Yes.
Counselor Del Rosario?
Yes.
Counselor Luzon?
Yes.
Counselor LaPlante?
Yes.
Counselor Levy?
Yes.
Counselor Vice President Infante?
Yes.
Council President Rodriguez?
I vote yes.
Thank you.
Thank you. Councilor LaPlante, do you mind going to item 13025? 130.
13025, this is the ordinance committee met and sent document 13025, which is One Voice Walk-in Celebration, June 21st, 2025, from 4 p.m. to 8 p.m. at O'Connell Park, to the full council with a favorable recommendation and make that in the form of a motion.
Second.
There is a motion on the table, properly second. Discussion, Councilor. you want to take an opportunity to speak
Yes,
a little more?
we went to the recreation department yesterday and they changed just the date because the 21st, June 21st is already occupied. They're doing an activity on that day. So the new date that we have is July 26th.
Do you mind accepting that as a friendly apology?
Yeah, so I'm going to make, yeah, so the motion will be for July 26th.
26th, yes.
26th, Ed O'Connell. And was that a conversation through you? Was that a conversation? They give you something on a piece of paper or?
Oh, she sent an email. I have the photo here and I have the project number.
Did you just read is it a quick email? Just read is it quick?
Can you
I
just read it a little bit when it comes, and
Just read it.
Where it came from?
It's,
It came from who?
it came from Yaritza Villa.
Okay.
Okay. Do you want me to read it? No, it's okay.
mean-
Oh, yes. Okay, it's short, but it's in Spanish, so I will need translation.
I know.
It's in Spanish.
Your preferred language. There you go. He wants to hear it.
Okay.
Just read it. We have the translator here.
Okay, so dice ya, solo quería comunicarme con usted. Okay. Solo quería comunicarme con usted para darle el número de solicitud para su evento a una voz el 26 de julio del 2025 de 4 a 8 de la noche en el Parque O'Connell. El número del permiso del proyecto es PP25 000005.
Got it? 000005.
Yes. That was not the number that we, that's a different one because they changed the date.
You changed the date.
Mhm.
Yeah. To reflect the specific date and time and the proper project number.
Yeah.
All right, councilors, any questions? I hear none. Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Counselor Levy?
Yes.
Counselor LaPlante?
Yes.
Counselor Luzon?
Yes.
Counselor Del Rosario?
Yes.
Counselor Santiago?
Yes.
Counselor Marmal?
Yes.
Counselor Reyes?
Yes.
Council Vice President Infante?
Yes.
Council President Rodriguez?
I vote yes. Anybody from the public would like to have the translator here with your item? You good?
Thank you.
All right. Thank you.
Oh, excuse me, can we
Yeah.
take a picture with you saying the, just for that group? They say yes, tell me. Okay, so little video, okay? They say yes, okay? They say yes. Thank you so much.
Thank you. All right. If anybody from the public would like to translation, ¿alguna persona del público le gustaría tener traducción? Okay, no. Entonces, gracias. Thank you.
I'd like to take,
now we
I'd like
got
to take
item
document 132.
125.
Can I do 132? 13225 is Semana Hispana.
That's
They're
your
here.
favorite? That's your favorite? Second favorite? Go ahead.
So the ordinance committee. Ordinance committee met on 13225 Semana Hispana, the use of camping in common on June 14th and 15th for their festival. I send this up to the full council with the ordinance committee sent it up to the full council, the favorable recommendation, and to make that in the form of a motion.
All right, there is a motion on the
Second.
table, properly second discussion. This is just the festival, no games, no carnival, right? That's what it is.
That's not what it is. I mean, we did the application for both things, the festival and the carnival.
Mr. President, this item is just for the festival. They have another
It's
item that is for the carnival.
Okay, what is it?
It's table, because they need information from the recreation department that we never got. So.
Oh, so they have it at that ordinance committee level? Oh, gotcha. So you have two items, one that is for the carnival, that is at the ordinance committee, and this one, which is for the festival.
Well, they were both brought in, up at the same time. It was just that it was a problem at the recreational department. They never signed it, and that's what happened.
So essentially, you're going to be discussing with the recreational department the other item.
No, I already spoke with Martha, and what her answer was that she told Adderley to sign it, and he didn't. That was what she told me yesterday.
All right.
And she said that she was gonna be today
Let's discuss the item 132 then, which is the festival. Item 13225, the Semana Hispana Campañón Common from June 14 to June 15. Councilors, any questions in regard to this item? All right, at this point, Madam Clerk, please call the roll. Sure.
Only because I'm gonna give out the permit and it's gonna be wrong and then everyone's gonna. I just want to be,
Joe, they have two items.
So this is, well, they have, maybe they have three items. They have another item for the carnival over at the, like Showcase Cinema area for like a festival, the fundraiser carnival.
Yeah, that's already done.
So they have a second festival on the common?
So this is the festival, and the other portion of it is the actual carnival that is going to take place during the same time of the Semana Hispana.
But
that
tonight's
is going to be
vote,
the carnival. Tonight's vote is just for the festival.
Just a festival, no carnival, just.
No carnival.
Okay,
The carnival is coming in a separate item.
okay, thank you. It just helps me if I take it wrong and then everyone's like, that's not what we agreed to.
Yeah, better to be safe than sorry.
Yeah, thank you, what he said. Councilor Reyes.
No, wait.
Oh.
Councilor Plan, you have a question.
I'm sorry.
So we
asked for documentation for approval. I haven't seen this on our sheet.
Just hit the button. The button.
Oh, sorry. Did you get some sort of documentation from, I know you talked to the recreation department, did you get something from them, or?
Oh, she was here earlier, and she said she was going to be here, but then she left. She said everything is going to be fine again. I don't know what to tell you.
All right, so when it comes to that item, and then we'll discuss the item. This one, is the application complete?
So if you look at your thing, we just asked, just to make sure, and I'm going to presume it's okay, but we did ask, field regulation pending a document approval from the recreation department for the use availability.
I had an email from Adam.
You do? Good. This could settle the whole thing, and we'll be good to go. I think you're right. I think we got that.
Three items. Yeah, there's three items that he said to preach the word of God, dates, what happened or said. I was all set. The one voice, she needed to change her date. She met with him. Same on Hispanic, renew comment. This date is available and can move to council. That's what he said back.
We're all set then. Thank you.
All right, no more questions. Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Councilor Levy.
Yes.
Councilor LaPlante.
Yes.
Councilor Luzon.
Yes.
Councilor Del Rosario.
Yes.
Councilor Santiago.
Yes.
Councilor Marmal.
Yes.
Councilor Reyes.
Yes.
Council Vice President Infante.
Yes.
Council President Rodriguez.
Vote yes. Motion carries. Thank you. The festival is upset. The carnival, once it come in front of us, and then we'll make a determination.
Okay, thank you.
We'll go back to the top.
Item
125.
12525.
12525 is no parking on 50 Willow Street. This was sent up to the recommendation to withdraw. Make that in the form of a motion.
Second.
There's a motion to withdraw, properly second. Any discussion on the withdrawal? I hear none. Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Councilor Reyes.
Yes.
Councilor Marmal.
Yes.
Councilor Santiago.
Yes.
Councilor Del Rosario.
Yes.
Councilor Luzon.
Yes.
Councilor LaPlante.
Yes.
Councilor Levy.
Yes.
Council Vice President Infante.
Yes.
Council President Rodriguez.
Vote yes. Item 12625.
Ordinance Committee met on this document to remove handicap parking at 108 Lexington Street. Was sent up to the full council with a favorable recommendation, order a public hearing. That's the motion.
Second.
Motion is to order a public hearing, properly second discussion. I hear none. Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Councilor Levy.
Yes.
Councilor LaPlante.
Yes.
Councilor Luzon.
Yes.
Councilor Del Rosario.
Yes.
Councilor Santiago.
Yes.
Councilor Marmal.
Yes.
Councilor Reyes.
Yes.
Council Vice President Infante.
Yes.
Council President Rodriguez.
Vote yes. Personnel Committee, anticipated report, we don't have that.
Good night, Council President.
Madam Vice President Infante, can you address the committee?
Thank you, Council President, through you. As the council heard earlier, there was a comment pertaining to the Personnel Committee during public participation, and I want to address that to my colleagues. The Personnel Committee was canceled on Monday. I received a call from the city clerk informing me that this item that you see before you on the agenda was being withdrawn or was requested to be taken off because we anticipate getting a name for a confirmation very soon. So we're just waiting on that. I was advised by the city clerk that we didn't need the meeting pending because of that information, so the Personnel Committee was canceled due to that, as it was the only item on the agenda as new business.
All right, councilors, at this point, we're going to entertain a motion to withdraw.
Motion to withdraw.
There's a motion to withdraw, properly second, discussion.
I got a question. I'm so sorry. I was paying attention, but I got lost. So there's going to be a need for a 90-day temporary appointment of the current acting personnel director. There's going to be a need for that, but or not? Or are we going to find someone permanently? Is that?
No, they're going to recommend her as a permanent.
So there's not going to be a need for the 90 days
For the
because we're
90
going to
days.
have somebody, and this is not going to bump past the 90 days. So we're going to be with. Oh, got it.
All right, motion to withdraw, properly second, discussion. I hear no, Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Councilor Levy?
Yes.
Councilor LaPlante?
Yes.
Councilor Luzon?
Yes.
Councilor Del Rosario?
Yes.
Councilor Santiago?
Yes.
Councilor Marmal?
Yes.
Councilor Reyes?
Yes.
Council Vice President Infante?
Yes.
Council President Rodriguez.
I vote yes. Public safety, there is no committee. Economic development, there is no committee. No reports. Committee of the whole, there is no report. All business, there is none. Table matters, councilors, any table matters that we would like to discuss? I hear no, so we're going straight to new business. New business, item 141-2025, 333 Lawrence Street, 15-minute parking. That's going to go to the ordinance committee. Item 142-25, city employee disclosure of conflict. That's going to the ordinance committee. Item 143-25, 3-on-3 basketball tournament, scholarship fundraising. This is going to the ordinance committee. Item 144-25, La Fiesta del Barrio, spray park. This is going to the ordinance committee. Item 145-25, craft for Alzheimer at the Howard Playstead. This is going to go to the ordinance committee. Item 146-25, city employee disclosure of conflict, ordinance committee. Item 147-25, handicap parking, 111 Arlington Street, ordinance committee. Item 148-25, handicap parking, 65 Tewksbury Street, ordinance committee. Item 149-25, handicap parking, 124 Oxford Street, ordinance committee. Item 150-25, removal of handicap parking, 264 M Street, ordinance committee. 151-25, 15-minute parking, 101 Bradford Street, ordinance committee. Item 152-25, a school bus drop-off and pickup, 65 Jackson Street. This is going to the ordinance committee. Item 153-25, discontinue of Empire Street alleyway between Appleton to Methuen Street. This is going to ordinance committee. 154-25, authorization to spend $50,000 Mosaic Municipal matching grant, Budget and Finance Committee. Item 155-25, report and presentation of the creating of driving Lawrence. This is going to the Budget and Finance Committee. Item 156-25, appropriation transfer $5,000 from business and economic development, in-state travel. This is going to the ordinance committee, to the Budget and Finance Committee, sorry. Item 157-25, appropriation transferred, $5,200 from business and economic development, in-state travel. This is going to the Budget and Finance Committee. Item 158-25, authorization to spend $515,000 for our 40R incentive fund from the DHLC Mass DOT Road Project. This is going to the Budget and Finance Committee. Item 15925, authorization to spend $25,000 from the Commonwealth Massachusetts Department of Attorney General to the Nicky Jan Music Arts Center designed. This is going to the Budget and Finance Committee. Item 16025, authorization to spend $7,500 fire safety equipment grant program. This is going to the Budget and Finance Committee. Committee's date and schedule. Ordinance Committee.
Next Tuesday, 22nd at 7 p.m.
Budget and Finance Committee.
I have some scheduling conflicts at the beginning of the week. It's gonna be,
There's an extra week.
there's an extra week?
There's an extra week this week, yes.
April,
Mhm.
we're gonna go the next week.
It's 2 weeks before we actually have the next city council meeting.
Do like the 29th or something.
So can I, Tuesday, the 29th at 7 PM.
Next week is that good week, so probably potentially people is on vacation. School vacation week. All right. All right, there is no other item for any other committee. Councilors, if you want to schedule another committee meeting, feel free to do so. That's on the full council, yes. That's gonna be up next week.
I have one thing, now that I'm remembering, for personnel, a table item that I did receive information for that's the committee requested. So I would like to schedule personnel for Tuesday, the 29th at 6:30
All right, personnel at 6:30 on the 29th.
for one item.
Any other committee? All right, I hear none. At this point, councilors, I entertain a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
Before to adjourn.
Discussion, Councilor Levy.
Okay, no, nothing for discussion. It's just to say thank you. That was so nice from you guys to send me the flowers. So people doesn't even know for all of the things that my family has been through on the last couple of weeks, with the loss of two nieces and another one that we saw that it was dead also, but I'm so glad that everything was fine with him. So, and all of them was on the same day in less than an hour.
Councilor Levy, la acompañamos en su sentimiento.
Gracias.
Gracias por su servicio.
Thank you.
At this time, I'll call the question. Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
So on the motion to adjourn, Councilor Levy, you ready to go?
Yes.
Councilor LaPlante?
Yes.
Councilor Luzon?
Yes.
Councilor Del Rosario?
Yes.
Councilor Santiago?
Yes.
Councilor Marmo?
Yes.
Councilor Selena? Yes. Council Vice President? Yes.
Yes.
Council President?
Vote yes.
Yep.
Thank you, councilors.